welcome. Happy Saturday to everyone. Welcome to the call. So nice to be with everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hi,
Lovely to
Julie.
see you. Hi, nice to see you. I'm going to mute the line just to get a clean recording, but I'm so happy you're here. All right, everyone, type your wins into the chat. You are here. You showed up for yourself. That is amazing. That is a win right away. Keep going. Keep going. What else? You're here. So I want you to share in the chat a win. It could be that you're here. That works if that's what you want to share. But remember, what you celebrate, you integrate, and you showed up for yourself today in the middle of the afternoon on a Saturday, right? To get to some support and encouragement as we head into April. So, what is a win that you can share? Type it in the chat, please, and I will shout you out. Lisa, I remained true to my intention last night. That is fantastic. And isn't that the best feeling when you wake up and you can celebrate what you did? Beautiful job. I love that. Who else? What else? Tracy, I'm trying to keep life as normal as possible, post surgery complications, and staying full of gratitude for the prospect of health soon. Beautiful. Hi, Lisa. I'm thrilled that you're here as well. So glad you came. Beautiful. So nice to have everyone here. Um, who else? What else? Anybody? Anybody? Any other wins? This is your chance. I am going to, let's see. Margot said, last night I stopped eating from my burger when I was full and dismissed the urge to finish it all. That gave me a great feeling when I went to bed. Beautiful. So you were really in touch with your body and your hunger. Amazing. Um, and Lisa said she needed a tune-up for support. Amazing. And Suzanne said, I am here. I interrupted my husband's project to attend this meeting. Go you, taking care of yourself, putting my needs above his for once. Well, let this be a precedent. Your needs matter, Suzanne. So that's fantastic. I'm so glad you're here. Amazing. All right, everybody, we're going to do a minute of mindfulness because that's how I do. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just take a moment to stop and breathe. So it's wonderful if you can to come into a seated posture. And if you can gently place your hands over your heart, that is a way to come into the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode, right? So place your hands over your heart, closing your eyes, taking a nice slow deep breath in through your nose and exhaling twice as long. And again, nice deep breath in through your nose and exhaling twice as long. Coming into this moment and this breath right now. So letting go of everything that happened before you got to the call and not worrying about what's coming next, just breathing. Using every breath as a chance to begin again. We are new in each moment, and you are the blue sky. Everything else is just some weather moving through. So just really feeling the air as it moves all the way into your body on the inhale and all the way out of your body on the exhale. And then gently, slowly, when you're ready, opening your eyes, coming back to the call. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for doing that with me. I would love to know, how did that feel? So how were you feeling before we did the mindful breathing, and how are you feeling now? And can you see a difference in your mood, in your energy, in your connection with yourself? Lisa said, so calming. Loved it. I'm so glad, Lisa. That's the idea, right? Just a minute of slow, deep breathing, and you can reconnect with yourself. Vicky said, calm and connected. Beautiful, Vicky. Isn't that amazing? 1 minute and you feel calm and connected. That's the way we want to be in life, right? Calm and connected to ourselves. Fantastic. All right. So, just a little disclaimer that I am a coach, not a doctor or a therapist, right? So, any advice I give is for educational purposes only. Okay. So, just to be clear about that from the start. And who am I? I think most of you know, but just in case, and anybody listening on the replay, anyone on Team Replay, right? I'm Julie Mann. I am a life coach. I'm a mindfulness facilitator. I'm a positive neuroplasticity teacher. I'm a proud mom and a Brooklynite, and I love to seek unexpected urban beauty. Okay, so that's me. And today we are going to talk about allowing urges. Think Margot used the word dismiss. I never use that word. I talk about allowing urges, expecting and allowing urges. So very important to allow them, as in letting them move through you. Very, very important. Oh, Lisa, that's so sweet of you to say. So the thing is that urges are not orders, right? They rise and they fall. And your power is in the pause, right? We started this call, how? With breathing, right? And that is where all your power lies. You become calm, you become connected, and then you can choose. You can choose what you want for yourself. And Margot said, allowing sounds better indeed because then you accept them. Exactly. They're nothing to fear. All humans have urges. We would die as a species if we did not have urges. There's nothing wrong with urges. I know it can feel like they're bigger than our heads, but they're not. They're not. Right. And when we allow them, we build our strength, our emotional resilience. So everybody share in the chat. I asked this question. What urge feels loudest in your life right now? Okay. And I love this quote from Viktor Frankl, right? Between stimulus and response, there is a space. Your power, your freedom, it's in that pause, in between stimulus and response, right? The idea is you have an urge and then you pause and then you respond. Not urge binge, not urge go on Netflix, not urge scream, but you have an urge, you pause, and then you choose, right? So think about that question. What urge feels loudest in your life right now? Lisa said impulsive urges are definitely not good for me, but soothe and help me disconnect from stress and anger. In other words, you're saying that you've found that eating is you're choosing to eat in as a way to disconnect from stress and anger, right? But again, Lisa, as we know, when we do that, the stress and anger are still going to be there, right? The stress and anger will still be there and they will intensify. And then we have the mess of the eating to deal with after, right? So that's not actively choosing what you want for yourself. Yeah, Lisa said totally yes, you're so correct. Tracy said ways to expedite recovery. So in other words, you're like, hurry up and let me get this over with, right? And so that's very interesting, Tracy, because again, when we resist and we push and we stress about speeding things up, our bodies have their own timeline for healing. Everything has its own timeline. And when we allow it, right, I keep talking about allowing, it's so much more peaceful. Margot urges to think about my desire to get pregnant. Okay, again, Margot, trusting the wisdom of your body, right? Like that's a beautiful wish and desire, and it'll happen on its own timeline. So allowing it, being with it, saying, I trust my body's wisdom. So helpful. These are great examples. Okay, and it's really important, right? This is about reclaiming your power by staying rooted in your authority. I love this image of this tree with all of its deep, deep, deep roots. Your power is deeply rooted within you, and now it's time to access it, right? Because again, when we allow urges, when we expect them and we allow them, that's where we get the freedom. Controlling things, that's not about force. It's about presence, right? We have the most control when we stay present and grounded and rooted, and we allow leadership to come from within. right? So think about this question. What happens when you stay? Stay with what's arising, peacefully stay with what's arising instead of quickly reacting. What can happen? What do you imagine? Or think of moments in your life when you did that, when you stayed, right, instead of reacting. Confucius says, he who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Right? So think about that staying instead of reacting and how things could change for you if you did that. Yeah. Vicky, I love the quotes on all of your slides. Oh, I love quotes. I find them so inspiring. I'm glad you love them too, Vicky. That's wonderful. I'm so glad. All right. And the thing is, we are trying to reclaim that inner leadership, right? I start every call with that mindful breathing because that's how we tap into all the wisdom that's within. You are all so brilliant. You all have the answers inside of you. And it's about getting slow enough and still enough to connect with it, to tap into it, right? Authority, that inner leadership, it comes from practice, right? And it's trainable to become calm. All of you said, doing that breathing, it slowed me down. It helped me connect, right? And you get more and more powerful with this with your consistency. So as you continue to do this, it gets easier, right? I start the call with mindful breathing and I remind you all that it's free. You always have it with you. You don't need anybody's help to do it. We all have the ability to breathe, right? And just taking that time, making it a consistent part of your day to have moments where you drop inside magic happens. Magic happens, right? Self control is strength. Right thought is mastery, says James Allen. So think about this question. Who are you when you no longer obey every impulse? Right? Urges are not commands. You do not need to obey them. Just because you think something doesn't mean that it's true or necessary. Thoughts arise. Urges arise. Margot said, a grounded woman. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Beautiful. Love that. Love that. Okay. So if you want more of this, right? If you want more of this kind of support, you can go to juliemancoaching.com. That's where you can find out about one-on-one coaching. And also, of course, my beloved group, Rewire and Rise Group Coaching, which meets every Sunday, including tomorrow. You can come and join us, right? And there you get written coaching 24/7, right? There's a private forum there. I'm always responding. You get access to monthly workbooks and monthly themes, right? Plus all of my prior calls from the last 6 years, lessons I've done. There are hundreds of them, guided meditations from me. Okay, so again, just go to juliemancoaching.com to get that information because you don't need to do this alone. Okay, so now I am going to get to coaching. Let me just jump out of here. I'm going to stop sharing. All right. So, who would like coaching? Now is your time. Just type coaching in the chat, or we are a small enough group that if you want, you can just unmute yourself and ask your question. And I am happy to coach. You're here. What would you like support with? Let me know. Lisa said, I'm worried I will have a binge tonight. Okay, Lisa, can you unmute? You can just type yes or no, or just unmute if you can. Let's start there. No, you can't. Okay, so here's the thing. Our brains are really powerful, and I don't want you to ever have that sentence again. Suzanne said ditto. Okay. Lisa said surrounded by peeps. Okay, so Lisa, Suzanne, and the people in the back, and anyone listening to the recording, we get what we say over and over and over again. And I want you to erase that sentence from your lexicon. Okay. You have everything in you to stay binge free right now. And right now, it's always now. And if you're binge free now, you can be binge free later. And each minute that you are binge free is ensuring that you're going to be binge free later, right? And the thing is that all you need to do is stay connected to yourself, right? You eat adequately, make sure you're nourishing yourself well all day, right? We eat adequately in order to be able to expect and allow urges. Okay. And when you do that, then you know that it's just Murray the dinosaur saying, oh, come on, you might as well. You can start tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. Whatever Murray is saying, I need this. I want this. I deserve it. It's too hard. All of those things are lies from your lower brain. And you're here to change your brain. You showed up for yourself today. You are ready to be free of this. It is behind you. I don't care what you ate an hour ago or yesterday, it doesn't matter. You're here now. That's what counts, right? And if you're not binging now, there's no reason for you to be binging later. There's nothing to say that. And worrying about it is a prayer for what you don't want. I'll say that again. Worry is a prayer for what we do not want. So instead of doing that, you can start visualizing a beautiful night for yourself. A beautiful night for yourself. Oh, I'm going to relax. I'm going to be with my family. I'm going to be fully present. If I get a little agitated, I can go in the bathroom and I can take some breathing breaks and reconnect with myself. And I'm going to put my head on the pillow, so proud, feeling so well. Go me, right? And I will celebrate that. I will celebrate that win. And I will show myself that I can absolutely do this. Okay, so Lisa, let me know if that helped, and Suzanne as well. Lisa said, I love that. So impossibly hard to think about tomorrow, though, in the moment. And I hear your prayer for what we do not want. It's only hard because you're telling yourself it's hard. It's actually so much easier. Binging is hard. Let's just be real. That's hard. You may be well practiced with it, but it is so hard. There's nothing but hell on the other side of a binge, and it gets harder and harder and harder over time. All of the digestive distress, the emotional distress, the letting yourself down, that's hard. What's easy is staying true to yourself and celebrating yourself and having that wonderful feeling. But you must be eating adequately, Lisa. So make sure you're actually nourishing yourself well and taking weight out of the equation. Because if you're restricting, then yes, it will be hard to stay binge free because your body is craving fuel. That's a different story. Um, Suzanne, I've been doing that exactly. Start the next day. Yeah, no, there's no more. You've mastered the art of the start. There's no more starting over. And Suzanne, I've known you for a long time. You are always spiraling up. Okay. There's no restarting. You're just on a journey, right? We're on a road that gets wider and narrower, and sometimes there are bumps, but you just keep moving forward. You are always spiraling up. Tracy, how to stop panic arising from feelings that then cause poor choices? Well, Tracy, you stop, you drop, and you breathe. If you're feeling panicky, that is not a sign to eat. That is a sign that you're getting agitated and you need to tend to your nervous system. You need to stay connected with yourself. You feel the panic, you pause, hands on your heart, take a deep breath, shake out your hands. Say, what's the matter, love? Why are you panicking? I'm here with you, right? Think about somebody you love. How would you talk to that person? You certainly wouldn't say, go binge, right? If they were panicking, that is not the solution. So think about how would you talk to yourself, Tracy, or how would you talk to a loved one if they were panicking? Come back into now. Connect with yourself. Be kind. Give yourself some loving support. That is the way. And then from that place, you can make choices that are truly aligned with healing, right? And feeling. Lisa, personally, I am going to decide now what I will be eating for dessert. Is that, yeah, of course. Yes, 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 totally. Yeah, make decisions ahead of time with your higher brain. And then, Lisa, expect and allow urges to say, oh, that's so good. I need more, 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 right? And don't. and say, I can have more tomorrow. That was delicious. That hit the spot. And then go me. Okay. Suzanne said, anything is okay to say with me. Tracy, thank you. That brings me to choke up with tears. Well, Tracy, that gives me the sense that you really need that loving, kind compassion, right? You're recovering from surgery, right? You need to keep yourself calm, slow yourself down, check in with yourself. So important. Lisa said, listen to Julie, she's the best. Oh, Lisa. I have already made the decision and I have proper things ready, but also surrounded by super bad choices like it's a bakery here in my kitchen. But again, but again, you have to keep thinking about the fact that when you choose with your higher brain feeling well, it doesn't matter what's in the kitchen. And no choices are super bad. Like let's take labels off of things. There's just food, right? You want to pick the thing that's going to be delicious, and you can have the other things at another time, right? Foods you love that love you back in amounts that love you back and leave you sated. So imagine having whatever delicious item you're going to have for your dessert, having urges for whatever else is around, and not acting on it, and then celebrating. And also plan something lovely for yourself for after that, right? Maybe you're going to do something nice. Maybe there's a craft that you want to do, or maybe there's a lovely, funny show that you want to watch. What lovely thing can you give yourself for after that, after you have your dessert, so that you feel like, oh, I'm moving on to something wonderful? Tracy said, thank you all. Lisa said, tears are great, Tracy. They sure are. Suzanne was referring to Lisa said, for me, it's okay to mention. Yes, well, it's my call and people can talk about whatever they want. So yes, good. I'm glad it's okay with you, Suzanne. Lisa said, right on. Yes, Suzanne, thank you. Margot, sometimes I keep eating because I don't want to waste food. Okay, but if you keep eating, you're just wasting it in your body. When you eat food you don't want to eat, that your body doesn't actually need, that's the waste, right? Never overfeed yourself for that reason. You've got options there. You can save it for tomorrow. You can remember that it's you're just going to be wasting it by overfeeding yourself. And or you can see if somebody else wants it. And or you can just say, it's uncomfortable for me to waste the food, to throw it out, but it's far more uncomfortable for me to um overfeed myself and disappoint myself in that way and be overly full. Lisa, I love that after totally good point. Yes, exactly. Right. When we give ourselves something that we think is delicious, true pleasure, right? It's before we eat it, when we eat it, and when we're done, right? So deciding on a dessert that's going to love you back because of the amount, right? That's the way to do it. So important. Margot said, yes, the after is great. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Lisa, that's an option, wrapping it up and giving it to the homeless. There are lots of options, but at the end of the day, you don't want to overfeed yourself, right? That's never going to be a good solution. And, you can also learn, I'm going to make less food. As you figure out your formula, Margot, and anybody else who's got this, this challenge with, oh, I don't want to waste it, so I'm just going to eat it all, right? Again, that's just a lie from Murray. So step one is, yeah, I'm going to eat as much as my body needs, and then I'm going to get rid of the rest in some way. And then I'm going to learn how much I really need to make so that I'm not in this situation frequently. Because if you're in a situation where you're frequently eating more than you need because you don't want to waste it, then you could just prepare less food. Think about that. Great questions. Who's got any other questions? What else is coming up for you? And again, if you want to unmute and ask it live, that's always fun. I am here to support you. We've got a few more minutes. And if you have questions about coaching, yeah, go ahead, Suzanne.
It's about coaching.
Yeah,
How long does the 10 o'clock session last?
it's an hour.
Because it interferes with my church schedule. I need I need your little program, but I don't know what to do about that. Can you listen later?
Absolutely. I put the recordings up within an hour. They're there for you to
Okay.
access. And you can come for I have some people who also have to go to church and they come for the beginning or they're in the car on their way there and then they sign off and then they watch the recordings later. Absolutely. And
Okay.
Suzanne, every call, every recording is already there for you. So there's so much for you to access and you can always ask for written coaching. So there are so many ways for you to get support within that context.
And so I don't want to take up time on this. I
No, it's
how do
great.
how do I go to Julie Man?
Yeah,
How do
if you go to juliemancoaching.com, you're going to
coaching.com?
see, yeah, you're going to see the link for the group.
Oh,
And but I can also, hold on, I'll give it to you right now.
it's okay. I mean I just
Well, I can just drop it in the chat.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
that
just going to drop the link in the chat so that if anybody else is interested, they can have it as well. But yes, I mean, it's always easy, juliemancoaching.com, right? But that's the link for the group.
is that your website that
Julie Man Coaching is my website, and all the links are there. Everything's there. But
okay. Well,
what I
I'll
just put
start.
in the chat is the link to the group, like
Okay.
signing up for the group. Okay,
Oh,
let's.
I see. I got
y-
it.
Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, there you go. Tracy said on the flip side, underestimating food to make so not satiated than hunting him. Yeah, Tracy. I mean, again, figuring out your formula for cooking, for eating, for movement, for everything. It's messy, but you just stay curious instead of critical, right? Curiosity is this expansive emotion. And when you stay curious and open and you say, I'm going to make a meal and I'm going to be curious. Does this fill me? Does it leave me sated? Is this enough food? And you can always make something else. If you're still hungry, then you make something else. And you learn, okay, that amount wasn't right. I need to augment it a little. Or that amount was too much. I need to diminish. Or that was just right. It's like Goldilocks, but you stay curious, put on your researcher hat because it's just food. Like these are not life and death decisions and you always get another meal to play around with, but you want to take it lightly and put on your researcher hat. Lisa, feed yourself the way normal people do. That helps me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you all have so much wisdom. It's just that you learn not to trust yourself from so many years of following diets or following rules or, like making this the obsession, right? And so we breathe and we remember, I have inner wisdom and I can tap into that. Margot, I like you always get another meal. Yes, that really calms the brain. There's always another meal coming. This one wasn't so great. It wasn't the right amount. No problem. I'll do better next time. No big deal. Everything is either winning or learning. And when you learn, you win more later, right? Yeah. As long as you stay open and curious instead of harsh and critical and judgmental. Tracy, thank you for the group and Julie for the support. Our pleasure, Tracy. I wish you a speedy recovery. And I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up. Thank you for being here. It was lovely to be with you. And this recording will be posted shortly, like, around 3:30. So if you want to review any of the coaching, you'll have access to it. And I hope to see some of you in the group or for coaching, or of course, next month. I always do these the last Saturday of the month. So thanks for being here, everyone. And have a wonderful day. Oh, Lisa, love you too. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Margot. So glad you were here. See you all soon. Bye. Bye bye.